Hi guys.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Go Reads This podcast. My name is Katie.
And I'm Lexie.
And we're here goofing off for another Tuesday.
We're your hosts today. We're going to take you on a journey of some bookish chat today.
Oh yeah, as we always do.
Yeah, before we get into bookish, because I just want to jump right into what we have, we're just going to do our scripture of the episode. Today we have Joshua 1:19, and it is, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go."
I love that verse.
It's always a good one.
Yeah.
Love. Okay, are we ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, so honestly, this was not part of the plan to talk about this today, just to be fully honest. But as we were sitting and chatting, I came across an announcement on Rebecca Yarros' Instagram, and it is that this creator, Michael, how do you say it? Oak?
What is it?
E-O-K. Eok?
Yeah, Eok.
Michael Eok, that's his Instagram name. He is a voice actor. I don't know what he's in, but he did, they requested like a whole bunch of fans to like send in their favorite like Taryn quotes. And he has like this really deep, like grumbly, growly voice. And so he's starting to record the fan quotes, or not, they're not fan quotes, but quotes fan requested. And they just put one on Rebecca Yarros' Instagram. So I was watching it and I was like, I have to talk about this, because if you don't know and you like Fourth Wing, you need to go check him out.
That's so cool. We were just listening to some of his TikToks and oh my gosh.
He is impressive. And he's so funny because like you can tell like it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable for him to be talking like that. And like he breaks character and he's just like such an adorable human.
Aw, I love that.
Love it.
Love.
So we needed to chat about that for a quick minute because
we had to let you know to go look him up.
Go look him up.
Yeah. What's the other thing? Lexie discovered that Spotify playlists exist.
Okay, I am not a Spotify girly. Let me just be the first to say it. I know Spotify is the move. However, my dad pays for Apple Music. So if I don't have to pay for it, I'm not.
Amen.
So I'm an Apple Music girly. But it has been brought to my attention that most of the time authors create playlists for their books.
Or fans do.
Okay. All the ones I've listened to have been by the authors.
Okay.
So that's funny. The first one I really experienced and like it brought another level to my reading was Ruthless Vows.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to it all while you read.
A little bit, yeah.
It was intense, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
It just brings a whole nother level to the story experience, I feel like.
There's one I found for the Elements of Cadence duology.
Really?
That I'm listening to while reading. Oh my gosh. Some of them are so good that I will not be reading. I'll be like driving and I'll just listen to them and it'll like pull me back into my book world. So I'm just like in fantasy land while I'm like driving. Yeah. That's so funny. I'm like thinking about my book characters and like listening to the
I love
playlist.
that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm reading The Woman right now, and there's a Spotify playlist for it, and it's all like old like hits, and it's such a vibe. Honestly, it doesn't really fit the vibe of the story because the story is really dark, but like the music just brings me back to like not my time because I'm not
that time though, because it's Vietnam, so it's like the 70s.
Yes. Yeah, the playlist is so good. And even though it's not the same vibe, it just kind of brings you into that time while you're reading it. Yeah. And it is so good. I have not read that book without having that playlist on.
That's so cool.
Except for I don't pay for Spotify, so there's ads, and that really irks me.
That would bother me too.
I have to put the book down like when the ads come. I really do, because I'm like, oh, okay, phone break.
Yeah, no, that's so valid though. See, my dad pays for Spotify.
It's so funny.
So I'm on the family Spotify premium account.
Valid. I wish.
The sad thing about that is I'm not the premium account holder, so I don't get free audiobooks.
Oh. Do you have Audible?
Yeah. My dad pays for Audible.
Y'all just like rack up your
Shout out to my dad for funding all of my addictions. Yeah, we just rack up credits because, so he drives a lot for work, and so he'll just get credits, or he has Audible so that he can listen to books while he drives, and he's like a big, what's the guy that does?
Oh, Robert Patterson.
No.
The Mystery?
No,
What's his name?
it's Tom Clancy is who he's really into.
Does he like James Patterson?
No, too much. He's more into like the political thrillers, which is like...
Yeah, I think James Patterson just does like mystery thrillers.
Yeah, he's more into the political thrillers. So he listens to a lot of Tom Clancy, I think is who that author is. But yeah, and he goes on like long drives frequently for work, but not frequently enough that like he's using every Audible credit. So like when we rack up a ton, I'm like, okay, I'll use one here or there, and I use it to listen to all of the books.
Catalog.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That are included with Audible.
I honestly... Sometimes I get real stingy, like with my credits. I'll check everything first. So I've been reading a lot of books on the catalog, but now I have like 5 credits, and Ryan and I have our own accounts. We don't share.
Yeah.
Because he eats through his credits, which is fine. But I'm like, okay, I guess you probably deserve to pick a book for a credit.
They should do an Audible family plan like they do for Spotify.
Yeah, like
that would
2
be
credits
so
a month instead
smart.
for like a couple dollars less than...
That would be so smart.
Audible, if you're listening.
Yeah, or
which
even
you're not,
like,
but...
Even like a discount deal where it's like if you're family of someone, they could be the Audible account holder and you could also have an Audible account and your account gets a discount because you're under like a family plan. Like
to
Spotify
make it so you
does.
don't need 2 full-priced accounts.
Yeah, that would be smart. Audible, you should do it.
Come on now. We can't be the only ones.
For real.
We're not the only.
We're definitely
just
not the only ones. No.
Oh, yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But
was that...
Those were our 2 little surprises.
Oh, yeah. Our surprise things.
Are we ready for the meat and potatoes? I'm just going to say that every single time now.
Good, you should.
We can make shirts that say meat and potatoes.
Oh my gosh. We're going to make merch that says all kinds of stuff, apparently.
Yeah, no kidding. There's going to be no distributor that would want to work with us.
No, we'd be too chaotic.
We are too chaotic.
So I would have to make our own.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, you have a Cricut.
You have design abilities.
Yeah.
It's a perfect match.
Beautiful.
Love.
Merch?
Okay. Will you guys buy some? Would it just be fun to make them?
Yes.
How do we make potatoes?
Just like ovals, but...
I guess I don't have to be mashed potatoes.
Yeah, were you thinking mashed potatoes?
Yeah, I was. That's been in my mind the whole time. I've been saying
Whoa.
that. What kind of potatoes were you thinking?
I was thinking of like a whole potato. You're like, how do we make potatoes? I'm like, you just make a potato. Like, what do you mean?
No, like meat and potatoes. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking
picture
about.
like meat on top of mashed potatoes.
We could have like a bowl
Mashed taters.
and there's mashed potatoes in the bottom and there's like the meat and then like little green peas.
Green beans or something?
No, like peas, you know? How like usually the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd wear that.
I don't think I would either. I think it would look like throw up.
I wouldn't wear my own merch. That's what
Not if it had meat and potatoes.
Yeah, actually, I don't even think I'd wear a shirt that said meat and potatoes.
I don't think
Unless I was filming. That's it.
Yeah.
Coffee mug.
That would be
This is why Lexie isn't in charge of any production
or design.
Design.
No.
Are you ready for the meat and potatoes for real?
Yes, I'm ready for real.
Okay. We are gonna do our spring rec vibe books. I'm so excited. I've been thinking about this episode since we did our winter vibe books.
Yeah.
And
I've been stirring it up.
Yeah, I have. And I'm just really excited about... I have 3 books and I'm excited about every single one of them. Kind of want to reread every single one of them.
I love that.
Do we want to do an every other kind of thing again?
Yeah,
Why don't you go first because you have one more?
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. So because we've done so much of me being the one that tries to get everyone else to read classics, I had to throw in...
You had to. It's on brand.
A classic recommendation for the spring. So I personally feel that the book Emma is a wonderful classic to read in the spring. It's Jane Austen. It's a romance, but it's like a rom-com, honestly.
Yeah.
And I feel that it just gives, I feel like spring is kind of the time where you're like, things are changing and evolving and like brightening and like, you know, your days are getting longer and the flowers are blooming and
it's getting nice out.
It's getting nice outside, right? And I feel like we kind of see that symbolically through Emma in like her character development. Is like her growing and changing and brightening and like in her development through the book Emma. So I feel like it's great. Also, one of the covers is pink. So
automatically spring.
Automatically.
Love that. Okay, my first one is, I feel like it's not really like talked about book. It's pretty underhype. It is The Depths by Nicole Lesperance. I read this book over a year ago, so I am just going to read the summary. But before I do, it is YA, clean, like PG-13, totally fine. Here we go.
Cool. A
tropical island full of secrets. 2 Victorian ghosts trapped for eternity, and a 17-year-old girl determined not to be next. Eulalie Island should be a paradise, but to Addie Spencer, it's more like a prison. Forced to tag along on the remote island on her mother's honeymoon, Addie isn't thrilled about being trapped there for 2 weeks. The island is stunning, with its secluded beaches and forests full of white flowers, but there's something eerie and unsettling about the place. After Addie meets an enigmatic boy on the beach, all the flowers start turning pink. The island loves you, he tells her, but she can't stop sleepwalking at night. The bird keeps calling her name, and there's a strange little girl in the woods who wants to play hide and seek. When Addie learns about 2 sisters who died on the island centuries ago, she wonders if there's more to this place, things only she can see. Beneath its gorgeous surface, Eulalie Island is a hidden dark with tangled secrets, and if Addie doesn't unravel them, the island might never let her go.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. That sounds so good.
Yeah, and I feel like it's spring vibe because it's not like a beach, it's an island, which I guess there is beach around it, but like, it's just springy to me. Honeymoon, like, I don't know. I remember I gave it 4 stars. Like I said, I did read it a while ago, but I remember really, really liking it and like eating it. I was trying to say eating it up and reading it in a day at the same time, so I ate it.
Maybe it ate.
It ate, yeah. It ate.
That's the Gen Z way to say that.
Mm-hmm. It is. You're right. So, yeah. Book number 1.
Sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
My next book is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn.
Ooh, okay. I haven't thought about that book in so long.
I hadn't either. I was looking through my Goodreads for what gave like spring vibes. And I think, so Daughter of the Moon Goddess is a young adult fantasy. It is based on folklore. What is the
Chinese
culture? Is it Chinese folklore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And I also am going to read the summary because I just can't really do it justice. It was a
lot. It's like 500 pages. Like, it's a pretty...
It is a duology. I didn't read the second one. I know you did, and you said you didn't like it very much, but the first one is good on its own.
Yes, you can read it as a standalone, in my opinion.
So the summary says, growing up on the moon, Xinyan is, I think that's how you say that. Please don't come at me if it's not. Is accustomed to solitude, unaware that she's being hidden from the feared celestial emperor who exiled her mother for stealing his elixir of immortality. But when Xinyan's magic flares and her existence is discovered, she is forced to flee her home, leaving her mother behind. Alone, powerless, and afraid, she makes her way to the celestial kingdom, a land of wonder and secrets. Disguising her identity, she seizes an opportunity to learn alongside the emperor's son, mastering archery and magic even as passion flames between her and the prince. To save her mother, that's so interesting.
I love it.
To save her mother, Xinyan embarks on a perilous quest, confronting legendary creatures and vicious enemies across the earth and skies. But when treachery looms and forbidden magic threatens the kingdom, she must challenge the ruthless celestial emperor for her dream, striking a dangerous bargain in which she is torn between losing all she loves or plunging the realm into chaos. A captivating debut fantasy inspired by the legend of Chang'e, the Chinese moon goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. There's more, but I'm not going to read it.
I remember really liking that book.
I
remember
loved
it being
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Like, I have the distinct memory of, and this isn't a spoiler or anything, but like her doing like trials and she had to make tea.
Yeah.
And she made it awful.
Yeah.
Like disgusting. But the like prince wanted her to like win. So he was like, this is the best one.
Yes.
And it was so funny because she did not know how to make tea.
I thought it was funny. It's not light. Like, there is a lot that happens. It is fantasy. Like, if you have never read fantasy before, this probably is not the one to start with because it is pretty complex.
It is,
But it's young adult. I would also say, like, PG-13.
Yeah.
There's no
swears.
There's no swears, I don't think. Nothing
maybe
vulgar.
A kissing scene, like
maybe.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, but it was,
I feel like it's more themes that are dark than anything else.
Yeah, and even then it wasn't like, I mean, themes of like death and things like that, but
As you would in a fantasy.
Yeah, and it's very high stakes and exciting. I don't know what it was that made me think that it was spring, but it just gives
The cover, maybe?
the cover, and I think like her coming from a place that's so dark, being the moon, to then this like bright kingdom.
They live in like the gardens though.
That's what I was gonna say. I felt like there was a big
There's
point
gardens,
about
like
the flowers
is,
and the gardens and the like that kind of stuff that they do outside. I feel like gives spring.
dragons.
There are dragons.
Well writ. Writ.
Well writ.
What is wrong with me today? Well written, well thought out dragons.
Yes.
Take that as you will. I don't know why I love Fourth Wing.
I know you do.
Will I rag on the creativity of it?
A little bit.
For sure. Is it still a 5-star favorite read of 2023? Yes, it is. Don't get it twisted.
We love that though.
Yeah. Okay. My second spring rec is A River Enchanted. This is by the one and only Rebecca Ross.
The queen herself.
Yes. I think we've talked about it. So like quick summary. Honestly, can I even think of it right now? Yeah.
I can do the summary. I just read it.
You did just read it, huh?
No, you got it.
We follow Jack Tamberlin. Wow, I'm so impressed I remembered his last name. Well, they're all humans, aren't they? Yeah, they're all humans.
Yeah.
He goes back to the island he grew up on. Don't ask me what it's called. I don't remember. Because the...
Cadence, right?
Isn't Cadence?
Because it's elements of cadence.
Yeah,
is the name of the duology.
What's the girl? What is she? She's the like high princess or something.
Oh, the laird.
The laird. It has like old term.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyway, he gets called back to the island because lasses are going missing. Girls are going missing. And basically, like, long story short, the spirits are like getting back on the humans for something I can't remember / I don't know if it's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler.
Okay.
There's something going on with the spirits, and there's also something going on with the other side of the island.
Yes.
But we don't know what.
We know
it's
what.
a mystery.
Do you know what? You don't know what yet.
I know what's going on with the other side of the island. I don't know what's going on with the spirits yet.
Okay.
I kind of know what's going on with the spirits.
We don't have to go super in detail. I know we've talked about it before.
He's a musician.
Yes, he plays the harp.
Yep.
Which is so cool. I've never had like a book talk about a harp before.
So cool.
And I love that his mom is a weaver. But she can weave enchantments into the clothes and stuff. And there's a lot of like cool like little bits of fantasy.
The magic system is so cool.
Yeah, it's like magic realism. You don't think so?
No, I would call it fantasy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's high fantasy with how the spirits interact with them and like the way that it's high fantasy.
It's really neat. It's YA.
Yep.
Although apparently you're reading book 2 right now and there's
some cussing in book 2, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, and like I know in book 1 there is like
it's in good taste, which is like
true.
You know?
You just gotta laugh at it.
Exactly.
So yeah, what would you rate? Like
PG-13.
13? Okay.
Yeah.
There's like one sex scene, but they're married, and it's not like a...
It's not
like a smutty sex scene. It's like a beautiful thing between a married man and a woman.
It's poetic, not vulgar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not
descriptive.
No,
it's
and
just
it's kind of like
her head.
Yeah, her head, and it's like
Someone said this on TikTok. I think it was actually in the video that you sent me about like the way that Francine Rivers writes her like scenes, because she writes romance. She's a Christian though, and her romances are Christian books. That I feel like is similar to how Rebecca Ross writes
100%. Yeah.
Like it's similar. Like if you guys would be okay reading a Francine Rivers like love scene,
you could read any of Rebecca Ross's
You could
books.
read Rebecca Ross, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's done really tastefully.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know why this felt like a spring rec.
It does though. It really does.
It's like a little bit too fantasy for summer.
Well, and his mom's a gardener.
True, and his sister is definitely gonna grow up to be a gardener.
Absolutely.
But like,
and they live
we
next
don't
to
actually
a river.
know that was not a spoiler.
No, it's not.
Is it a river Enchanted? Yeah. Duh. Yeah, the magic river. You're right.
There's the magic river, and like there's a
two,
lot about the plants and the earth, and
there's like it's a subplot romance, but two romances.
Yep.
And one of them is like so cute.
I think they're both really cute.
There's one I liked a little bit better than the other.
Okay.
For no other reason than, I don't know, I just did.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I actually want to talk to you about that, but it's a spoiler, so we'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it later.
It just came in my mind. But anyway, what's your...
Okay.
I'm going to forget it.
My next recommendation is The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. And I
haven't heard of this.
I've never heard anyone talk about it. I picked it up by chance. When I looked at it on Goodreads, it was released in 2021, and I think that that's actually when I read it. So I don't know how I did that. I had never heard of it before. Picked it up in Barnes & Noble, read the inside cover, and I was like, this sounds cool. And I bought it, which... crazy for me. I never do stuff like that, but it's not on my shelves right now. I lent it out to someone. Yeah, I know you were. So it is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic story. So
I'm so interested to see why you think this is a spring rec.
Honestly, only because a lot of it happens with them traveling from point A to point B outside. And for whatever reason, that felt like spring to me.
That's valid.
I don't even think that it's happening during the spring. Like, I honestly can't even tell you when it's like when it takes place. It's so freaking cool though. Okay, it's there's no good way to explain what this book is about besides there's a main character. Actually, there's multiple main characters. See, I'm having so much trouble.
It's always funny, like when I'm trying to do a book rec, I like before the podcast, I know everything about the book.
And then all of a sudden,
I have no idea what the book's about anymore.
Okay. Yes. So the main character that like is actually the main girl is she's 18, and she and her dog, there's like a super deadly flu, which also read like right after COVID, and I was like, oof.
Scary.
Scary. It was actually when COVID was like still kind of going on, because this was released in like January or something of 2021, so it was like very much still COVID. Mm-hmm. We're like, ooh. Or February of 2021. So fly flu sweeps the globe, and basically the main character and her dog have to go to this place because there's a communication system between that place and her home that she needs to go to like meet someone at and like fix the thing. I honestly, it was wild. There was like so many different things happening, so many different characters that we ended up following, but in a really good way. And it ends up being a found family. Ooh. And it's a really good found family.
Love.
Like really, really good. It's devastating. The dog does not die though. Just to give you some peace of mind, in case you needed to know. The dog does not die. I feel like that's important to know. And it's not really, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler,
that's
but
an
it's
automatic DNF.
That is
I'm just kidding. It's an automatic sob session.
Yeah. It's not really a spoiler. I feel like it's like
disclaimer.
It's a disclaimer.
A trigger warning. That's so real though.
Yeah. Also, it takes place in New England, so just
nostalgia. New England is spring.
Or fall. The survivors, it says in the blurb, they're navigating the woods of post-apocalyptic New England.
Just reading that, it feels fall to me.
Yes.
But
yes. And
outside vibes is spring. I get it.
I just felt like it gave also a lot of the like coming of age was a big theme in that. And for whatever reason, coming of age, I mean, I know the reason, but coming of age for me feels like spring.
Yeah, because it's like renew, like growth and into the cold. Like
exactly.
Younging.
Yeah.
To summer. Old. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, if you're looking for a whack sci-fi post-apocalyptic, it's a standalone.
Unhinged. It sounds unhinged.
It is unhinged. It is. It's under 500 pages.
Oh, is it standalone?
It's a standalone.
Did you just say that you might?
I did, okay. But that's okay. It's also young adult, PG-13, maybe some swears, but not. There's not really romance. I feel like there's very, very, very small. There is.
You don't see that much
There's
anymore.
a really small romance subplot, but it is like. It's like baby size, like not a big part of the story at all.
I feel like that's so uncommon nowadays.
I know. And I don't even think it's with the main character. It's like the side characters.
Oh, okay.
I want to say.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And one of the other main characters is like a little boy and he's so precious. So cute.
I kind of want to read it.
The Found Family is so good.
Can I borrow it when your friend gets it back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, this is my last one because I did have another one, but then I didn't want to talk about it on the pod. Anyway, my last one is Fable by Adrienne Young. I feel like a lot of people know about this book. Honestly, it takes place on a beach, but it's still like spring in my opinion. We're following, what is her name? It's Fable. Right? I think so. Fable. We're following Fable. She is like a young adult, 16 years old, dredger. She like dredges what's it called? Like crystals out of the ocean. Oh. For money, because her dad, who's like a powerful like pirate, dropped her off on an island when she was a kid and was like, fend for yourself. Like, wow. Yeah, basically what happened, like to get to that point, her mom and her dad's like second in command were on a boat and it capsized and the mom died. And this is not a spoiler, like it's, how she gets to the island. And he's like, I can't look at you. You look like your mother. So he leaves her on this island. And it's basically the whole book is about, he left her with the ship that capsized, but she had to get to it. Oh. And find it. And then she could keep whatever treasure was on it. And the ship was hers. So it's like following that. Oh. And there's a little bit of romance, but I honestly really liked it. There's betrayal. It's a roller coaster. It's so good. It's a duology. Both young adult, PG-13, like totally fine. And also, if you've seen the covers, they are absolutely stunning. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
They're like the covers with like the girl's face blown up, but like it's not in a cringy way, I don't think.
No, don't they like
They do match up together. Yeah, it's really so cool. Yeah. Honestly, like I said, this book takes place like in beach water, but like something about just it being like about like pirates and dredgers just feels really springy to me. Okay. Yeah. And I've been thinking about rereading it.
Really?
I just read it, but
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay. That sounds really good. Mm-hmm. Dang, I can't believe I didn't pick it up. I feel like you tried to convince me to when you read it the first time, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't read YA as Like, I know you like it, but, like,
Yeah.
I could read it back to back to back to back and be fine.
I cannot.
Yeah.
I need a break. Unless it's Rebecca Ross YA.
That's different. This is a very different
I know.
writing style
YA. I know. Rebecca Ross doesn't write
She writes really
like YA. She writes and she even says like in her things that it's like woven between young adult and adult, so like either could really enjoy and appreciate it.
Yeah. Like it's safe for YA, but it's complex enough for new adult.
I need complexity in what I'm reading for some reason.
I don't know if this will be for you. Like
That's
it's
fair.
like big words on the page.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always. Sometimes I'm happy to pick up something that like takes no brain cells.
This is like this thick on the hardcover.
Yeah. I do feel like though if I'm going to pick up something that requires no brain cells, it's going to be like a rom-com.
This is not that. This is like action.
Yeah.
This gives like the writing style vibe of Inheritance Game. Like kind of that like real simple.
Yeah.
To the point.
Which I really liked Inheritance Games.
Yeah.
So maybe I would like it.
Maybe. You have to be in the
I have to be in the mood. Yeah.
Yeah. Mood reader.
Yes, she is. all of my RECs that were not my classic are all young adult too though. So
nice.
My last one is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix Harrow. And
that's so funny. Because hang on. I tried to read this book.
Yep.
I was not into it. I was in a reading slump and I haven't picked it back up because it has the word January in it. So in my brain, it needs to be read in January.
It's her name.
I know. I got that far into it. I know.
Look at this cover. All of you need to look at this. Look at these flowers.
That is very spring. I agree.
The cover, if you guys are watching visually.
And if you're not, look real quick. Take a peek.
There's flowers. Mm-hmm. It's all flowery. It's also like the writing is just really beautiful. And I feel like beautiful writing feels spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one of the quotes says, a gorgeous aching love letter to stories, storytellers, and the doors they lead us through. Absolutely enchanting. How can you not want to read that in the spring?
I didn't even want to read it in January when my brain told me I had to.
That's fair.
So maybe I should give it a shot.
You should.
I kept my bookmark in.
Okay.
In the book, so I'm not done.
You soft DNF'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in a reading slump and you just need something like quick. That was not it.
When you're ready for something that's not quick. When you're in the mood for something like the way Rebecca Ross writes in Elements of Cadence.
Okay.
Pick up 10,000 Doors.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't even let you explain the book.
It's okay. The main character, basically, it's a fantasy, and maybe I just really like portals in fantasies because that's also part of why I really like the Shades of Magic series is because of the portals. But anyway, I have to look up the thing because recap, guys, someone just came to the door and he wanted to know what my light bill was. And my response was, my husband does that. Okay. Jumping back into our 10,000 Doors of January, I can collect myself. I'm just going to read you the summary real quick because I feel like this one's also kind of hard to explain. It's a little bit complex, but it's a fantasy, young adult, PG-13, I would say. I don't think there were any swears, any scenes, anything like that. There is romance in it, but not, like, it's not the main plot. It's definitely on the back burner. Okay, the summary, it says, in a sprawling mansion filled with peculiar treasures, January Scholar is a curiosity herself. As the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, she feels little different from the artifacts that decorate the halls, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. Then she finds a strange book, a book that carries the scent of other worlds and tells a tale of secret doors, of love, adventure, and danger. Each page turn reveals impossible truths about the world, and January discovers a story increasingly entwined with her own. So
interesting. It always sounds interesting to me.
It is. It's good. You do have to get into it. It takes like 50 to 75 pages to like really get into what's going on. I got
past like chapter 4, honestly.
That's fair. You gotta give it like there's a lot of setup.
Give it a fair shot.
There's a lot of setup, so you gotta like give it some time to get into it. There's also like a crazy mystery aspect of it.
Ooh,
that you're
I
like,
did not know that. Okay,
whoa, what is happening right now?
I think that's it for our spring recs.
I think so.
Some good ones. I hope y'all read some of them. And if you do, let us know.
And let us know how you like them.
Yeah. Or if you have any spring recs, also let us know, because we need recommendations too sometimes.
Absolutely, we do.
We have a little game.
Shout out to I'll Read What She's Reading for this idea. The game is to describe your personal romance story in a romance trope, or a couple if you want to do a couple.
Okay. The first one that comes to mind is Friends to Lovers. Ryan is a golden retriever in like the best way. It's amazing. He's the happiest guy. And we have a golden retriever and they're best buds. I'm not really a black cat, but in our relationship, I think I am.
Ours is childhood friends to lovers. And Grumpy Sunshine. That was like the first thing that came to mind for me. It was like, oh yeah, we're Grumpy Sunshine. I don't think he would agree with me, but
that is what came to mind when I thought of it. I think like when one of us is grumpy, it's like situational. It's not like an overall personality. Not that Justin's personality is grumpy, but
no, he can be really fun, guys. This is not
he's gonna come at me for that.
Fun. He's not gonna listen to this.
Justin's the kind of grumpy where like if he just heard me say that, he would act grumpy for me, like to me for like 3 months straight because I said that.
That is so true though. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on your Tuesday at the Go Read Sis podcast. We hope you enjoyed this chat. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe over on YouTube. Give us a rating on Spotify. Come follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at goread.sis. We love to interact with you. Please say hey on social media. And come listen to next Tuesday's episode of Go Read Sis, and have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye!